Hello, everyone. I want to let you know a friend of mine out in California and also one here in Connecticut said, Daryl, you really have to break this down for the average person to understand it when it comes to Boeing and corruption and all the rest of that. So I'm going to try my best to do it today. I formulated it this morning. We have two videos, this one and another one coming out. This video today is about 40-year QA expert Daryl Guberman exposes Boeing's corruption. Taxpayers, workers, and shareholders pay the price. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow citizens, my fellow community, I'm here today as a 40-year quality expert and also Boeing shareholder, but more importantly as someone who cares about the safety of our skies, the integrity of American industry, and the livelihoods of thousands of hardworking men and women. Boeing is not just another corporation. Boeing is funded by your tax money, by my tax money. Whether through government contracts, military deals, or subsidies, Boeing receives billions in federal funding. That means every single American taxpayer has a financial stake in Boeing's success or its failure. You don't have to be a shareholder to understand that one. But let me tell you what's really happening at Boeing. While executives line their pockets with massive bonuses, workers on the floor, factory floor, are left scrambling to fix quality issues that should never have existed in the first place. As a shareholder, I've seen firsthand how Boeing's leadership ignores accountability. They don't care about shareholders. They don't care about workers. They don't care about safety. Oh, yeah, they care about shareholders if you're having 50,000 shares or above. They care about only one thing, money. I've been fighting this battle for a long time. On April 17, 2024, I attended a Department of Homeland Security Subcommittee meeting in Washington, D.C., where I stood up and gave testimony exposing Boeing's 22-year long practice of avoiding on-site quality audits. I wasn't invited. It was an open door, and I got up when you're not really supposed to, and I got up and I held up those two pieces of paper that Boeing put out back in 2002, April and July, issuing a supplier notification that said, send in your certs, send your parts, and we will come out to see you if need be or need arises. In June, I returned on June 18th, 2024 to witness Boeing's CEO, David Calhoun, deposition. And what did I find? That Boeing was being led by an accountant, not an engineer, not a quality expert, but someone who could crunch numbers while the company fell apart. Then in October 2024, I traveled to Washington State, Renton, Everett, Auburn, and Northfield to speak directly to the Boeing workers. What they told me was shocking but not surprising. Management was nowhere to be found. Workers never saw David Calhoun because he was out either golfing or playing with his house, and he was never on the company property, very rarely, or other key executives on the shop floor. Quality concerns were ignored. And when the union IM 751 had the chance to fight for workers' rights and better pay, its president, John Holden, failed them. I personally traveled 3,000 miles to meet with Holden and present documentation that could have secured the 40% raise they were looking for and better retirement for workers. But he did nothing. He folded under pressure. This is not leadership. This is your betrayal, IM 751, and I don't make any bones about it. Meanwhile, Boeing top executives walked away with millions of bonuses while 33,000 rank-and-file workers got browbeaten into accepting a bad deal. The CEO at the time, Kelly Oper, arrogantly told workers, this is our last and final offer. If you don't take it, we'll hire scabs. Rather than standing up to the corporate strong army, Holden and IM 751 caved. And now, April 2nd. We see Boeing's new CEO, Kelly Oper, questioned by Senator Ted Cruz in a Senate hearing. But let's be clear. This hearing needs to expose the rot of Boeing's core. When I watched David Calhoun's deposition on June 18th, I saw a man who wasn't worried at all. Why? Because he knew he was going to be leaving December 24th with a $45 million payout. These Boeing executives always get paid no matter how badly they fail. Let's name some names. David Calhoun. He got $45 million and walked away, even though there's a mounting crisis. You have Stephanie Pope, took over Boeing's COO, but where was her voice when Boeing was failing? She's been on board for 30 plus years. Isn't that nice? Also, you have Brian West, Boeing's CFO. His job is to protect Boeing's money, not to ensure quality and safety. You have Stan Deal, former head of Boeing Commercial Airplanes, removed quietly, but not before he made millions. Workers suffer, passengers at risk. Taxpayers flip the bill, but executives get rich. And let's talk about Boeing's quality disaster, can we? I have been sounding the alarm for years about Boeing's lack of real oversight. Boeing demanded that all its suppliers and subcontractors be AS9100 certified. That's an international standard for quality that all the aerospace industries have. But Boeing itself did not hold this certification for over 20 plus years. That means they enforce strict quality rules on others while ignoring their own factories. I have personally uncovered evidence Boeing's accreditation system is a fraud. Yes, it's a fraud. They used computerized databases instead of real on-site inspections to approve suppliers. When I exposed this, Boeing quietly deleted key supplier bulletins that they informed their suppliers and subcontractors between April and July of 2002. They finally took them down after 23 years of being up there because of me, because what they say in those is that send in your certs, send in your parts, and if need be or need arises, we will come to your facility to see if you're not making a part in a bathtub. If Boeing collapses, we all pay the price. Taxpayers lose billions in government contracts and bailouts. Workers lose their jobs. Passengers risk their lives every time they step on a Boeing airplane. The American people deserve better. Boeing's workers deserve better. Boeing's shareholders deserve better. This flight is not over, and this fight is not over. I will continue exposing the truth because this isn't about Boeing. This is about corruption of an entire system, one that puts profits and executive bonuses ahead of safety and quality, and the hardworking people who make our country great. The only way we win is by standing together and demanding real accountability. Boeing cannot continue to operate like this, not while taxpayers, workers, and passengers are left paying the price for their greed. Ladies and gentlemen, I leave it here. I do this for you. I have all this experience, knowledge, education, and I bring it to the table for you because when you sit your ass on one of those planes, that Boeing took a piece of paper as the empirical certification quality of that organization. In fact, we have it on their supplier bulletin. It says, Boeing, rather than come visit you, we believe that the supplier, like who has AS9100, as long as it's ANSI-ANAB accredited, is a great supplier. Well, let me tell you why. Boeing sits on ANSI-ANAB's webpage, the management committee that can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification. They call ANSI-ANAB out on their supplier bulletin, supplier portal, and also on their supplier bulletin of 2002. AS9100 must be AS9100 must be ANSI-ANAB accredited. Why? Because they have their accreditation body right by the balls, and they don't care. They're making millions of dollars. The funniest thing is, I wonder how much Boeing is paying ANSI-ANAB to get them accredited, okay, for AS9100. Is their certification going to be any good? Hold on, I'll tell you what their certification is. Hold on, I'll do this real quick for you. Hold on, let's go. This is what Boeing certificate is going to be worth, because if it is ANSI-ANAB accredited, and they sit on all the boards, they call them out. That's worse than the fox watching a hen house. See this? This is Boeing's cert. Let's see if it flies. Wow, that flies better than a Boeing. 203-556-1493. And the reason why we do this is because we are a shareholder. We care. We put our CV in because I think we're the only ones that can pull them out of their fucking hole. I'm sorry to use the F word, but Patrick Shanahan did when he was Deputy Secretary of Defense under Donald Trump about the F-35. He said the program is fucked up. Yes, isn't that a tender moment? I thank you.